Today I'd like to discuss elephants. Elephants are some of the most unique creatures on Earth. They're the largest land animal, incredibly intelligent, and they're also being threatened by humans. Now most people have a positive association with elephants. We learn about them in school or through reading books, but I would like to discuss some of the more unique aspects of elephants and how we can ensure their survival. First, I'd like to discuss some general information. There's two main species of elephants, the African elephant and the Asian elephant. The African elephant is typically larger and has a single dome-shaped head rather than the twin dome-shaped head of the Asian elephant. The population of African elephants is also higher. Elephants are the largest land animals and can grow up to be 14 feet tall and weigh 15,000 pounds. They also live to be 70 years old in the wild sometimes, which is very unique because most animals have a much shorter lifespan. Elephants can use their trunk with very high dexterity, and they can be trained to paint and do other complex tasks with their trunk. They're also the only species that can snorkel underwater naturally. They form deep bonds with their family and live in herds ranging from 8 to 100 members. The leader of each herd is typically the oldest female, which is also commonly the largest female, according to Defenders of Wildlife. Elephants can build and use tools. They can make fly swatters out of branches, and they've also been known to break electric fences with rocks and logs, which can be a problem for wildlife managers. They also mourn for the death of their friends and family. According to Cheryl Davis, they throw leaves and dirt over body of deceased elephants and break off branches to cover them. They'll often sometimes return to the grave for hours or days and later return. Secondly, elephants are incredibly intelligent. They show empathy and refuse to leave behind sick and injured members of their herd. When elephants become anxious, other members of the herd will often try to console them and make them feel better. According to Faris Jabber, elephants are one of the few species that can pass the mirror recognition test, which is a test done where an animal stands in front of the mirror and you try to identify if it's able to recognize itself or is looking at another animal. And there's only a few other species that have been known to pass this test before, showing the intelligence of elephants. My last point regards conservation of elephants. A century ago, several million elephants used to roam the earth. Now, after decades of ineffective regulation and persistent poachers, the population has been significantly reduced. Today there are about 500,000 African elephants that are living, and in the 1970s the population was 1.3 million. Poachers unfortunately kill 35,000 elephants every year for ivory tusks, according to Mary Frank and the Race to Save the Elephants. Poachers are the single biggest threat to elephant population in Africa. China is the largest market for ivory tusks of elephants, where people often believe that the ivory from the tusks can be helpful for common ailments and sicknesses. Also, unfortunately, the United States is the second largest market for elephant ivory. President Obama and the President of China recently signed an accord that would ban all imports and exports of ivory through the United States and China, which was done to hopefully reduce poaching. In conclusion, I told you how elephants are a truly unique species that inhabit this planet, and that it's humanity's job to ensure the survival of these elephants because we are the one that are threatening their existence. Elephants are some of the most unique creatures on Earth, and we need to do more to promote elephant conservation. We can all do more to learn about, appreciate, and preserve elephants in Africa and in Asia where they are most threatened.